Welcome to the inaugural episode of The Kitchen, live and uncut. I am your host, Jesse Graff. I'm going to cook for people. We're going to talk about the food, talk about, them, and have a good time. I got a co-host joining me tonight. Send it over to my co-host, Zion Bowen.
Hello.
Alrighty.
Hi.
And our lovely guests for this evening are the illustrious Brad Gouldby. We have Sam Lundstedt.
Hey.
I'm sharing with everybody tonight for the first time my signature burger recipe. This is something that I've had for a while. Zion can attest to this. I've never shared this with anyone outside of my, house. My mom and dad don't even know this recipe, so I love you guys. So obviously, for a burger, you're going to need some ground beef. And this is why I had you gentlemen wash your hands, because I do burgers a little differently.
Is this being filmed?
What do you think was in that contract?
I was in hair and makeup for over an hour.
Most people season a burger from the outside. They make a patty, they put seasoning on it, and they grill it. But a lot of the seasonings you're using in your kitchen, they're dehydrated, so they need moisture to reconstitute and release flavor. So by mixing them into the burger, you season the burger throughout, makes the ingredients express themselves better. I also build this like a meatloaf. You'll notice there's eggs and breadcrumbs. Do you know how much I love you guys with the price of these fucking things right now?
Yeah, I know.
We have the seasoning blend. I'm gonna give you guys a recipe here for a 1 pound batch of this, but we're making a 3 pound batch. So this is gonna look like a lot more than you're gonna be using if you make this on your own. The seasoning blend is 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, 1/4 teaspoons of granulated garlic, granulated onion, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. We're gonna get that all in there. We're gonna mix that in, and we're really gonna punch up the flavor. This is Worcestershire.
Oh, Worcestershire.
And then
Soy sauce.
soy sauce, 100%.
Oh, I nailed it.
Low sodium soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of that as well.
Okay.
And so the reason the breadcrumbs kind of come in here is we're adding all this liquid, so we got to balance it out. So this is going to suck that up. The eggs are going to add a nice binding agent.
Jesse, did you put that soy sauce in a ramekin? Is
Yes.
that the correct term?
Yeah, they're little serving dishes I have.
You know the name of the serving dishes?
I know my way around a meal.
I was like, oh, okay.
All right.
I was gonna say he went to cooking school. You look like you dropped out of it. As soon as you knew how to make a toaster
Funny
strudel.
thing, I dropped out of culinary school and then just worked for 14 years in the industry.
Well, as long as you washed your hands before you did it, because I don't know if this guy wants to get down with the sickness.
Yeah.
So you're gonna massage everything together.
Wow.
Really get in there and blend it around.
Boy. It's not how Mom used to make, but Mom was on somas, so this is definitely a lot more love and care in it.
All right, guys, your turn. Go ahead. Get your fingers in there. Mash it around. We get this meal made by everybody. Then it has
Nice.
love.
Do you want to hold hands in the hamburger
I'll be honest
bowl?
with you. Usually I don't use a lot of latex. You know what I mean?
I always do when I'm going into strange meat. You know what I'm saying?
Jesse, I'm weird. I prefer to get massaged, not massage. You know what I mean?
You've never massaged another man's meat before?
Never.
At least we're doing it together. It makes it less
The
weird.
first
Yeah.
time.
If you tell on me, I'll tell on you.
So is this going to be posted on YouTube? If we do this the right way, we could sell this to PBS.
But we could get on PBS. That's a credit.
Jesse, it's feeling pretty moist.
We're going to be aiming for about a 1/2 pound here. I'll grab a handful and I'll show you about what that looks like.
You can guess like about a 1/2 pound in your hand.
Yeah, my dad was a butcher, so
Jesus, what else are you selling out of this place?
this is about a 1/2 pound. Nona's nice meatball right there. Pat it out.
It's like a Michael McDonald song.
Oh, that's
Like,
beautiful, Sam. Oh yeah, that looks better than mine. A little thicker, but
Thank you.
Somebody invited me to play Play-Doh with them, and it's really showing right now.
this is 5 right here. We'll have a little left over so I can make a...
Make one for the pup.
Oh God, this is 500% of her daily calorie intake. She's less than 5 pounds.
She will die.
She will die.
I always feed my dog the right way. Let the cat out of the bag on that one.
Welcome to the kitchen challenge. I have to
Don't
write
get
an
it on
essay with meat gloves.
I had to grab the whole can because I thought there was going to be like a shopping bag under the sink.
Jesse, is this 80-20?
Yes, this is 80-20.
There we go, good man. Some people get 90-10. I call them communists.
Fat is flavor.
Exactly. That's what I always tell people. I'm gonna live forever. Forever.
I'm gonna get the grill fired up.
Forever.
And you don't have to do anything to this one, but I want to show off. I did buy nice bacon for you.
Oh, hey, that's like straight pork belly.
That's thick. That's thick. That is thick cut.
And the 2 C's.
Canada. I've been eating for a very long time. I started out with Gerber, baby food, and for the most part, somebody asked me, "Hey, you want to come do a show about cooking, and eating?" And I said, "I'll work for pasta." That's pretty much it. You want more? Stretch it.
Yeah.
Do you have a personality by any chance?
Yeah. They said be funny on this thing, and I played rugby for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
For about like 9 days, and it was hard. I was running into these big guys, and I was like, "No way, man! Might as well rather try to tell jokes." And I've been doing that for a little. I do bar shows around town, and every once in a while I get a chance to guest host a spot, and that's what I like to do, man. And date and just working, eating. I go to a lot of restaurants is what I do. I can get into food. I'll tell you, I like it all. Vegetables, meat, pork. One time, Jesse, I tell you this, I ate pork 3 times in one day, and people are like, that's too much. It was a sausage egg McMuffin from McDonald's, and then carnitas fries. Carnitas,
Yes, carnitas is fantastic.
And then when I went home at night, my son was like, "Hey, let's have ribs." So that's 3 porks in one day.
Right.
I'm a 30-year-old dude with long hair. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Do you guys have alcohol, by the way? Do you have beer?
I wish.
You don't have any beer? See, I was going to ask that on my way over if I should bring beer. We could have put duct tape on the labels. It would have been fine. Anyway, not a recovering alcoholic. I'm a Las Vegas comic. I've been doing it for like 6 years. Other than that, maintenance man. I'm an engineer, actually.
Nice.
Well, that's what the job title is, because I have to run my own projects and order my own materials and do all my own stuff. I don't just do the job. I have to handle it all by myself at a veterinary clinic. I'm the guy that makes sure the place don't fall apart. I've got a wonderful girlfriend that I've been with for 5 years. She's got 2 children, so I've got 2 stepkids, both girls, both teenagers, so, for sale. Not that way, just take the whole person. Like they say, in Las Vegas, the trafficking happens a lot, and I'm just trying to, like a stray cat, I'm just trying to get them into a good home, because they're driving me crazy.
Stuff happens in life. So that curtailed how I parent. They don't give you a handbook.
No, that's fair.
So
That's
it's
true.
just like...
Also, I like to play video games. I was like pivoting away from children. Like I said, good price. I hit my affiliate link on Wayfair. Like out of nowhere, I saw that there was a sale on Amazon for $99. I bought a welder. Instead of doing drugs, I learned how to weld. It turns out it's actually not that hard.
Yeah.
So the people with the big scruffy beards and the pot bellies who walk around and be like, "You need to respect me and my wide knuckles because of the trade that I threw my life away from. You should respect me for getting up at 3 a.m. every day." It's like, I don't. For $99, I can do what you do.
Right.
It worked out pretty well. It's not as clean, but it melds the weld together. Meld the weld. That's gonna be my new tramp stamp.
And I gotta ask you this, on your ring, on that, is that tell me a little bit about your ring.
It's a ring that I ended up getting from my dad. It's got the Queen on it. Funny enough, it was a gift.
Which one?
The Queen Elizabeth. It was a gift that he gave me after she died because we're Jamaicans and British colony, and so he kind of hated her, and so he was like, you know what? Why not? Here you go. Here's just a golden ring. And I was like, you know what? Thanks.
That's nice. You wear it well, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Do you guys have history together? How did you guys meet?
I met Sam Lundstedt about 5.5, 6 years ago at your coffee shop open mic at the Grouchy Jones.
Yeah.
That was when that was where I used to get practice to do cleaner sets. And you used to hate how much I towed the line, explaining to the mothers in the crowd that I've got PCP in my cup. I was just going around with the cup and just and pointing out the walls and the art, and I was riffing but keeping it clean and practicing.
Brad, I owe you an apology, and I'm going to do it here on this camera. No, this is what happened. Me and Brad were on a show together at the Rumble, and we're supposed to do a minute new, a minute clean, a minute here. You go on stage about 9 times. It's a strange deal, but the thing is you had to come up with a brand new, fresh minute from the start, and Brad followed the rules and did that, and everything I did, I have been doing for quite some time, for 7 years. So, and I told Cassie after, the boss of the thing of the comedy club, fuck, I feel bad because I did all my shit. Was there? And she goes, Sam, everybody was laughing, so it's okay. But I felt like I wronged you. Then I fucked you over on that deal, and I was like, I just didn't want to, because it makes it weird and that kind of stuff. And you think about that kind of stuff for like a year of your life. So
don't worry about that. But it's called, dude. I don't know how many times I have to go to comedy competition shows like that one. I've been there like 4 times, and every time I go there and stuff, I seem like I'm always on the back patio talking with a comic, like shaking them, being like, the competition isn't between us. It's the comics versus the audience. As long as they had fun. Dude, do you know how close it was between me and you? Yeah. You could barely hear. It was deafening. Yeah. That means they had a good time. Right. I got to get drunk and hang out and smoke cigarettes and just go...
And that's the only way to go through it. That's the only way to go through it.
We won. It's us versus them. It's not us versus each other while they watch.
It's a community effort.
Yeah. And so many people are out there just being like, that was bullshit. I'm like, who cares, bro?
Put so much pressure on yourself and fucking destroy as hard as you can, and if it comes out like 70% okay, then you'll be okay. You'll be all right. And that's just how I do it. But your room that you run is frickin' like tight and small and like a pirate ship, and other comics go, dude, it's a party, Mike. I'm like, Huntridge.
It's the Huntridge every Monday night at 10. If people are talking at the bar or being annoying or anything like that, you could literally lean over at them and talk over them until they pay attention to you. Mm-hmm. It was really hard to calm an entire crowd though, because one lady got so drunk she just took her dress off. I'm sitting there trying to talk to the crowd. We have a whole backdrop, so I step forward to talk to the crowd and get them going, and they go crazy, and I'm not saying really anything. I'm like, what's going on? I look at my producer, and she's like, she's twerking behind you, and I turn around to a dress pulled all the way up and just going, and I'm like, oh god, I couldn't get the crowd back. I eventually wrangled them back in, but yeah, we have a fun time. It's a fun punk rock dive bar comedy show.
I gotta get over there. I gotta get over there.
It's fun.
When I was doing some improv, and there was a lot of improv people there, and the guy wanted to climb up on stage, and none of my friends could see his face, but he was trying to climb up on stage, and he was fucked up, and he was drunk. And he grabbed a speaker and fell back. And 3 of my friends came up and they were like, Sam, we were ready to go fight that guy for you. And I was like, that. And I just kept going with my set. And then Ryan took a clip of it, and all the improv people were smoking cigarettes out front. They said, hey, I heard you threw a guy off stage the other night at the dive bar. Well, it didn't happen like that, but just keep telling your friends. And like the improv guys, they're like, hey, let's all get some money together and go to California and go to an Angels game. Mm-hmm. Comics are like, hey, man, do you have a cigarette I could borrow? So it's different.
Are you going to give it back?
Yeah. They never do.
Yeah. They never do. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, seriously.
That was a fun night.
A guy who was watching a bar comedy show with me turned 100% around with his back to the stage to look at all these strippers, and he tried to lean back on a table to look cool, and then he just completely slipped off the table and smacked his head on a bar stool.
Oh, no!
And he was like, I'm okay, and he puts his hat on, and it's really dark in the dive bar, and so he goes and sits back down, and they're like, you're not okay, you just put your hat on over a busted head wound. The dude started bleeding down his shoulders.
Because he hit his head on the bar?
Because he was shit-faced and wanted to look at strippers. Trying to look like the Fonz, too. Just like, hey.
Right.
there was two really cool things that happened at the dive bar. One time, this guy had one leg, and he took off his leg, his prosthetic leg, and then another comedian like took a drink out of it, and he's all, dude, that beer tasted nasty. I'm like, it was out of a prosthetic, you know.
Yeah.
And then another time, this lady came in, and she had, when Randall was running it, this lady came in, and she had she was escaped from a mental institution, and she had a gown on, but with no clothes underneath, just naked. And they let you do whatever you want at the dive bar, but the bartender went, okay, ma'am, this is over the top, and you're gonna have to leave. We cannot have you here.
Right.
And Randall was funny. He made a joke about it because she was just like, "You guys are doing me wrong." A friend of mine's son wanted to get into comedy, and he goes, "Hey, he wants to do comedy because comedy's fun." And I said, "Listen."
So he blew coke in his face. He's like, "Welcome to the biz."
I'm hanging out with some pretty really gnarly dudes till very, very late at night. He can try it for like a couple times, 3 or 4 times, but it's some real bad dudes around it. And that's coming from me, and you know my stories. So if he wants to try it, but have a regular, normal life. Do your set, and then go back home to your regular, normal life. Don't fall deep into it, or it's. But if you do fall really deep into it, you get funny, man. You get real funny.
Right.
After 4 nights of doing it, you can start. Everything that comes out of your mouth is good. Yeah. All my stories are like had to be there kind of stories. I'm like, you should have saw the look on my grandma's face. And it's like, well, we didn't, so you have to explain it to us. And I went to Motor City, which Randall was running, and he goes, and my 17th time doing it, I destroyed up there, and I went to Ryan and I said, fuck yeah, dude, I'm over the hump. I'll always be funny. And the next 15 times I did comedy, it sucked. And he's all, oh, Sam, just to let you know, that's going to be like that your entire career. And I was like, oh, fuck. But I thought, oh, hey, I'm funny now. I did it. And then it's like, all my sets are going to be this good. And then
you jinx yourself.
And like 30% of them were good. So that's what kind of a long road it is if you do it.
What inspired you guys to pick up comedy?
To be honest, I've always been interested in like fantastical Hemingway-esque RPG fantasy, like adventure. There's nothing in life anymore that I saw when I was young that could give me like adventure. I looked around and I looked at all the people from the town that I grew up in, Mesquite, Nevada, and I was like, this is a death pit. And all the people in here, the only thing they have to look forward to is work for their family and reproduce. And I was like, I don't want to be stuck.
This is miserable.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be stuck with all these losers, man. And then I found comedy, and I was like, that's a traveling job. Holy crap. And I found out that you can just do it. You don't need an inn.
That's why I went into cooking, is I can cook anywhere. So if I want to pick up and move, I can. And that was one of the things that drew me to cooking, was I wanted a creative outlet. I wanted something that I liked doing as a career, but I didn't know what the restaurant industry was like when I signed up for that. But I do love making food, and I love cooking for people, and I love that entertaining and that hosting. But I wouldn't have found all that if I wasn't like willing to get out of my small town, because I also grew up in a small town in the middle of bumfuck Pennsylvania, and it's a really racist, homophobic area, and I'm really happy to not be there anymore.
Because that's always the scary thing about comedy, is nobody tells you that it's like, you do this, and then you do this, and then you make it here, like a job. You eventually get promoted. It's like, no. No. I mean, you either, it's more like playing like a game of D&D. You make a choice, roll some dice, it either goes good or it goes bad, or you just altogether made the wrong decision. You could do coke with the wrong person, and now you just shut down your ability to get into a club. Or you could choose not to do coke with the wrong person, and now you're not cool. You just shut down your ability to get into a different club. It's like the politics are interesting and different.
Or you do coke with the right person.
Right, and then everything opens up. That happens too. That's always fun. That's how you, as the kids say, prove you're not a cop.
Prove you're not.
Yeah. which doesn't work on actual cops. I'm trying to
You know, unfortunately.
prove you're not a cop. They're like, sir, roll the window down.
I lived on a 34-foot cow, a sailboat.
You don't
for-
strike me as the kind of person who lives on a boat.
That's why my dad did it, because I was in San Jose, and I was just about getting ready to go into high school. He moved us onto a boat in Santa Cruz,
Damn.
and the best 5 years of my life was living on that boat. Well, I was born in a bus in Mendocino. My parents were hippies.
So they're hippies or they were carnies? Because born on a bus, lived on a boat.
Yeah.
Like a folk song.
It was lived in a bus for the first 5 years of my life with my dad. He got a job in San Jose, so from the second year of kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, I was in San Jose.
You say the second year of kindergarten?
Yeah, I did that twice. The first year was hard, but the second year.
The second time I came around, I mean, who can blame you? You're doing your homework on a short bus.
Yeah. And it was, I did, but to live on that boat for 5 years, I would recommend to everybody to do that.
To live on a boat?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So you went from a bus to a boat to Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely didn't grow up in any boats or buses. I grew up in the LBC. Not far from, I grew up the first 3 years of my life in like Section 8, Long Beach, California, not far from the beach. The bad part you'd never want to go to, the one that's covered in like diapers on the beach and shit. We were in the hood.
Yeah.
And she's like, you just got to pass walking around because you're a 2-3-year-old, so nobody's going to ask where you're from when you're walking around in diapers, Winnie the Pooh in it, and just a shirt and diapers. I'm going to be staying in Vegas a little longer, mainly until the stepkids at the very least, get old enough to get out of the house, and then we're probably going to leave.
Okay.
I want to try to see what else is out there. Because you remember, comedy, I did it for the adventure, and I feel kind of locked down. But I love my girlfriend, I love my little family, I love all that stuff. It's one of the reasons why I tell a lot of new comics, I'm just like, love will happen later. It'll happen later. Get famous now, it'll happen later. Because once you fall in love, a lot of times you'll think to yourself, it's like, yeah, going on stage in front of 100 people cheering is cool, but also cuddling up and watching the new anime with my girlfriend's also, like, little better.
Right.
So I'm just like, it'll stifle you, and it's not in a bad way. But it's one of those things where it's like my girlfriend works remote and she makes some good fucking money. So as soon as the time comes and those kids are out at 18, then we're dipping wherever. I mean, Japan's on the table, you know?
Well, I have good news, gentlemen. We have food.
That's
Nice.
delicious.
I've done the thing.
That looks delicious, man.
I'm gonna let you guys build your own, however you want. I got some a nice just red tomato here, cut up, some pickles, green leaf lettuce,
Perfect.
condiments, however you like. These are nice Kaiser rolls toasted with butter, and then the burgers that we made with some provolone cheese and the bacon I cooked up. So yeah, grab a plate.
Heck yeah, man. This is way better. When I had burgers growing up and stuff, my dad would always like we never got the tubed ones, but we got the cellophane wrapped stuff. But we did, man, on bread. Sara Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it would always just mush. He was always he'd mush it down before he gave it to me, so it didn't like fall apart as you tried to pick it up, and you just see it just soak through all the bread, and you're just like, so this is amazing, dude. I was like, I can't cook anything but breakfast materials.
Breakfast is great. I worked in a diner for a while, and I genuinely fell in love with making breakfast because I also get to work diner hours, like breakfast hours.
Right.
And normally in the restaurant industry, you get no life. Okay. And so I got addicted. I'm just going to palm this.
Yeah, good.
I got addicted to working breakfast. And so I ended up, the last job I was at, I couldn't get breakfast because of what the job was, but I could get the earliest hours. I could get like 8 to 4. Oh yeah, that's a nice juicy burger. Look at that.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Bon appetit.
As you guys dig in as you see fit, and let me know what you think.
All right.
I'm the slowest burger maker ever.
That's the best
dude. I
burger
would
I've
never
ever
make it.
had.
Very good cook.
Thank you.
Even better lover.
Oh no. How did you find out?
You remember.
Get Brad Gouldby on my OnlyFans.
We do more with these burgers. We make smash burgers.
Oh, we got shit to
Holy
do.
shit, that's delicious. Wow. Oh
Best
my
burger
God.
I've had in my entire life.
You see how mixing the seasonings in really lets it bloom in flavor?
Yeah, dude, you can really taste it all.
Gentlemen, you have shows and stuff. Please.
Brad Gouldby on Instagram. I'm Brad_Gouldby. That's where I usually promote where I'm going to be, is on Instagram. I need to cross-platform that. I kind of just watch people on Facebook. But on Instagram, I post where I'm going to be. I host an open mic every Monday night at the Huntridge at the corner of Maryland and Charleston. Come on through. The parking is huge and free. The drinks are cheap as hell. Cheaper than anywhere else. We smoke cigarettes inside. I'll get you high. You can come do some time. Yeah, catch me popping up at like random club events and stuff like that. I love popping up on the Rumble. That's what we've talked about. You can go check that out at Wise Guys in the Arts District. Other than that, just keep an eye out for me in the obituaries, you know?
Okay, so I have a guest host at Wise Guys, and also I'm going to be on the Berlin show with K Bank Show on Tuesdays. It's an opportunity where you could do a little bit longer time. So take advantage of going out and seeing live comedy. You'll find me on Sam Lundstedt on Instagram and TikTok, but honestly, I live in your heart.
Live Moss.
There you go. A man who looks like Jesus and a man who lives in you like Jesus. On the first show.
This burger is busted. Thank you guys for coming out.
I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to tear into the food. I'm going to make sure Ryan behind the camera gets a burger and get him fed. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a wonderful experience, and yeah, can't wait to do it again.